I've tried 4 times now to upload this particular segment of my lectures. I'm going to try to keep it briefer and hope that it works. I thought it might be useful to remind you of the 4 principal objections to the ordination of women that were rehearsed at the time the Philadelphia 11 were ordained, but continue to be rehearsed in the Church of England now as it attempts to come to terms with whether or not women priests will be consecrated bishops in the Church of England. The 4 objections are these. The first objection comes from Scripture and tradition about male priesthood. In that tradition, you have an emphasis on the fact that even though the Son of God is incarnates humanity as such, he becomes incarnate as a male, Jesus of Nazareth. It is Jesus of Nazareth who at the Last Supper institutes the Eucharist, and he does so as a male, so the appropriate symbol for the priest is maleness. And also because Jesus chooses 12 disciples who become apostles, who become an apostolic college with Peter as the head, and those apostles then become the basis for the mission outreach of the early church. It is appropriate then for maleness to be the symbol of that apostolic activity. That argument has carried considerable weight in all of the discussions about the ordination of women. The second objection to the ordination of women is one that has to do with the current divisions within the church. Since the division between the Orthodox tradition and the Roman Catholic Church in 1054, and then the divisions that arose because of the Protestant Reformation and the subsequent rise of denominationalism, the church is so divided that it cannot act on something so fundamental as the ordination of women. It must refrain from making such a fundamental decision because it's divided and cannot reach consensus. Related to that objection is an objection then that one could say is an ecumenical objection, that because churches have been divided and because historic branches of Christianity that hold to apostolic succession and to episcopacy, that is the Roman tradition and the Orthodox tradition, because they have not ordained women, that for the Anglican branch of Christianity, not only the Church of England but also the American Episcopal Church, for that branch of Christendom to ordain women would become a stumbling block, an impediment for ecumenical discussions and for any hope of reunification. The fourth objection that is raised to the ordination of women is the objection that has to do with the relationship between the church and culture. That objection says that the demand for the ordination of women is coming really from pressures within the culture. A culture that is secularized, that never takes seriously Scripture or tradition or the unity of the church, but is simply asking the church to be like the regular culture, that a regular culture, a secular culture that wants women and men to have equal responsibilities, equal roles, equal access, that it is the demands of culture being placed on the church which are inappropriate and therefore mitigate against the church's decision to ordain women. I know as I rehearse these objections that many of you are probably chuckling and saying, how can these possibly have any relevance to us? We know that there are objections to these objections to the ordination of women, and of course you were right. But I thought it important to rehearse them because they are very deeply held objections to the ordination of women and to the ordination of gays and lesbians in many quarters of Christianity. They were important factors being discussed in 1974. They are important factors that are being discussed in the Church of England to this day, and I thought you should be made aware of them.